up, a Cinema Shogun here, and today is Britney Spears' oldest son's birthday. Sean Preston turns 18 today, and in true Britney Spears fashion, her fans are all going online not to wish this kid a happy birthday, but instead they are attacking this kid, they are insulting this kid, some are even threatening this kid on his 18th birthday. But this does not come as a surprise to me at all. In fact, this was to be expected. Let's just be completely honest here. To be a modern day fan of Britney Spears, you kind of have to be just as psychotic as she is. Well, you know what? Let me run that back. I want to be totally fair here. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of Britney Spears. I grew up with Britney Spears. There's nothing wrong with maybe being a fan of her back in the day. There's nothing wrong if you connected with her music or maybe you liked her choreography. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of who Britney Spears used to be. Okay? But if you're a fan of whatever the hell she's doing right now, if you're a fan of Britney Spears constantly twirling in circles, if you're a fan of her trying on horrible outfits while literal piles of dog poop are in the background of her videos, if you're a fan of her just spaced out, downright crazy Instagram captions that make no sense, if you're a fan of all of this new stuff that Britney has going on, then honestly, you need to be checked into a mental ward. That's how I feel. I'm not even joking. To be a Britney Spears fan, nothing's wrong with that. But if you're a modern day fan of all of this nonsense that she has going on right now, chances are you need help as well. But you see, these are the type of people that Britney Spears attracts. Crazy, it attracts crazy. I would even argue that a lot of these modern day Britney Spears fans were probably never fans of her back in the day. Some of them may not even be old enough to be fans of her back in the day. They're more so fans of her right now because they see themselves in her. They see her chaotic, crazy behavior and they can relate to it because they themselves are crazy. It takes a special kind of crazy to go online attacking someone's kids who you don't even know on their birthday, threatening them for no apparent reason. But like I said, crazy attracts crazy. These are the type of people that Britney attracts. Because make no mistake about it, in reality, Britney Spears can try to send this image that she's this sweet, innocent woman. And they've tried to portray Britney like that for years in the media. Britney was the innocent, sweet girl. But in reality, from everyone I've talked to, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me who have worked with Britney or worked for Britney, I haven't heard a single good story. Everything I hear about Britney Spears and everything that I have observed over my coverage of this woman is that she, in fact, is really a bitter, mean, nasty woman. And I say nasty, I mean she has a nasty attitude. She doesn't treat people right, and she's not that good with hygiene and stuff like that either. And this is not me insulting her. This is just me going off the information that countless people have provided over the years. And, you know, I got into this story because I was concerned for Britney and I felt bad for Britney. But over the year or so that I covered the story, I just witnessed this behavior that made me feel differently. Like personally, once her sons complained and said that they were getting bullied by their friends and bullied by their peers because of all of the nude photos and how their mother acted online, when Britney Spears responded to her sons by posting more nudes of herself and attacking and taunting her teenage kids while literally spreading her butt cheeks on Instagram, that's when all respect flew out the window. That's when any sympathy I had for this woman, it just went totally out the window. We can sit here and woe is me, I feel so bad for Britney and the conservatorship all day. But in reality, Britney is not who you think she is. She is a mean, bitter, nasty, mean-spirited woman. And I mean, it's plain as day. You can see it come out all the time. From her talking about Christina Aguilera's backup dancers, to her throwing shade at Selena Gomez, to her attacking a fast food worker, all because he said, "I hope you're okay." All of this stuff, it just adds up. And when you see how psychotic and crazy her fans are, it just all starts to make sense. And let me tell you, I've dealt with this fan base. I have never encountered a weirder, meaner, nastier group of people in my life. A lot of these people are grown 40, 50-year-old men who hide behind pictures of Britney Spears, and they pretend to be like 12 and 14-year-olds online so they can interact with like teenagers and other fan bases. Every time I do my research and I look into these people who are constantly harassing me, these Britney Spears fans, I always find that they're really weird individuals. A lot of them even identify as vampires. And I'm not even joking. There's a lot of vampire people who are fans of Britney Spears. They literally dress like vampires. They pretend to be vampires. They use the pronouns vamp and vamp self. It's a really weird situation. But I have yet, in covering this situation for like 2 years now, I have yet to run into one normal looking person. I have yet to run into one normal looking person that looks like they have a job, a family, and a life. All of these Britney Spears fans that I run into, all of these crazed out weirdos, they all look the part. They all look insane. You can tell that their lives are just chaos, catastrophes. And they all cling on to Britney Spears, and they're inspired by her because they see themselves in her. They see her acting crazy, stupid, and psychotic, and then they feel better about themselves. So a lot of these weirdos out in the world, they attach themselves to certain movements, to certain groups, to certain people. And what we're witnessing here over the last couple of years, since this woman got out of the conservatorship, a lot of people are gravitating towards her. A lot of crazy, undesirable, just rejects. They're all gravitating towards her because that crazy energy, it pulls them in. And then they see someone like Britney Spears, who had the world in the palm of her hands, but instead of taking advantage of that, she decided to twirl around and act like a nutcase. They see that and they're inspired by it. It makes them feel better about their meaningless lives. But when you go online and you see like posts like this one, "I ain't wishing no happy birthdays to Sean Preston and Jaden James. They don't deserve. I don't remember them. They could have been like Blue Ivy, but instead they chose to be shit turds. The respect they could have gotten and would have gotten, they stood up for their mother. Britney, stay strong." So all of these people, they try to act virtuous, which is my main issue with these people. You see, they act like they're all offended by my words. "Oh my God, you're so mean. How could you be mean? How could you be so mean to Britney?" But in reality, these are the meanest, ugliest people you will ever meet. They sit there and try to pull off that sweet act. They act like, "Oh my God, Britney's such a victim. Everyone, you need to be sensitive to this." But all day, constantly, you can go online. It's public for everyone to see. All day, Britney Spears' fan base, all they do is go attack people online all day. They attack her kids. They attack me. They'll attack you if you question anything or if you show any concern for this woman. These people are crazed lunatics, and I will continue to expose them and talk about them. I will monetize them. I will make as many videos about this as I feel. It's just really sad to me that some people they're fooled by this act. They're fooled into thinking that Britney Spears is this big victim that we should feel bad for, and they're fooled into thinking that Britney Spears fans are all these nice, caring people that only care about Britney's well-being and they want to defend her, when in reality they're evil, nasty creatures that go out online and spew hatred at everyone. They attack everyone, even her kids. And then when someone like me steps up to the plate and isn't afraid to take these people on head on, they make people like me public enemy number one. You know, they want you to think that I'm this bad guy who has no filter and says all of these mean things about Britney, but in reality, all I'm doing is giving the same energy that y'all are giving. I see the energy that y'all are giving. I see the energy that Britney gives, and I match that energy and I throw it right back at you. I would be way more respectful in my coverage of Britney Spears if Britney Spears respected herself and respected her kids and the people around her, and if her fan base had respect for anyone, including themselves or even Britney. Her fans don't even respect her. If you are a true fan of Britney, and I know some of you all are, you would not sit by and praise her as she does the things that she does. Which is why these videos that I make of Britney, they're so successful, because there is a portion of the fan base that are not these crazed lunatics. There's a huge portion of Britney's fan base that used to be a fan or are still a fan of who Britney once was, the music that she once released. But now they realize that something's wrong. But you see, you have these crazed idiots who go out of their way to attack children online. You have them trying to silence all of the sane people. So Britney Spears is caught in this echo chamber of psychotic weirdos with no lives telling her that everything she's doing is great, supporting her as she literally trashes her own children, and she thinks that this is good. Oh, my fans love it. When in reality, she's crashing out. She's ruining the relationships that she has in her real life. And her fans are right there applauding it, because the crazier she is, the better it is for them, because it makes them look less crazy. And like I said, crazy attracts crazy. So the crazier she is, it's like she's sending out this beacon. And the other crazy people around the world are like, oh, it's kind of like a sonar wave. You get that Britney crazy wave coming out you, and random crackheads on the side of the road are like, wait, I'm a Britney Spears fan now. She acts just like me. And here's another one, and best believe you can go search it up online right now. There are thousands of people just trashing this kid for no reason. Happy 18th birthday, Sean Preston. The world has been waiting for this day your whole life. Good luck surviving without mommy's money. You better work, bitch. You know what I find so funny? People not only villainize Britney's kids, but they villainize K-Fed for getting child support. Do you know how many women out here in this world are getting child support? But they're not villains for collecting child support. But for some reason, Kevin Federline he's evil, he's bad, he's no good, he's a villain. We're going to villainize him and dog this guy out because he's getting child support. Why? Is it because he's a man? I really don't get it. Because let's just be totally honest. It's almost impossible. It's literally almost impossible for a man to get full custody of the kids. Let alone in a situation like this one where you got someone like Kevin Federline, and then you got Britney Spears, the biggest pop star the world has ever seen, and she can't get custody of her kids, but they'll give them to K-Fed? That should tell you a lot. That should tell you everything you need to know, that Britney Spears was not a fit mother, not even close. She should be thankful that K-Fed stepped up and raised these kids, regardless of how you feel about him. I'm not here to tell you that he's a stand-up citizen, the best guy in the world, but he took care of those kids without Britney, raised those kids basically without Britney, and somehow, some way, he actually raised them to be pretty good young men. Even though their mother is stripping, acting an ass on Instagram, they winded up coming out okay. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Britney Spears' kids are more normal and they're more well put together and adjusted to real life than the majority of celebrities' kids that you see. It's not often that you can look in on a celebrity's kids and see kids like Sean and Jaden. She should be happy. And regardless of how you feel about K-Fed, he did a good job keeping them out of the limelight through all of these years, which I'm glad he did, because Britney Spears' fan base are crazed lunatics who literally want these kids dead for no apparent reason. For no apparent reason at all. But to sit here and just constantly act as if like, oh my God, how dare you receive child support? Well, maybe if Britney Spears wasn't constantly humping random people who cleaned the toilets at her house, maybe if Britney Spears wasn't flinging herself around the room naked all day, talking gibberish, acting like she has a London accent, maybe she could have raised her own kids and maybe she wouldn't have had to pay child support. Don't villainize K-Fed for getting child support. Look at Britney and come to the understanding that it's Britney's fault that she lost the kids and lost custody in the first place because she had issues and her kids were never a first priority. They were never a top priority. And after the conservatorship, I thought that reuniting and having a healthy relationship with her kids would be the number one priority, but it wasn't. Britney's number one priority was showing her tits on social media. And that's a fact. So we're not going to sit here and villainize K-Fed for getting child support. And another thing that these people don't seem to realize, because the majority of them live sad, lonely, meaningless lives without kids, without a future, without a job, without anything. They don't realize that you don't stop being a parent when a kid turns 18. Sean Preston doesn't just turn 18 and then all of a sudden the parents aren't supposed to care about him anymore. All of a sudden, Britney shouldn't be helping him anymore. Being a parent never ends. Being a parent never ends until you're gone or your kids are gone. You know what I mean? Sean Preston could be 60 and Britney could be 90. That's still his mother. But the reality is, none of Britney's fans, or the majority of Britney's current modern day fans, they don't understand family values because most of them were raised in broken homes, and you can tell because they look at the stuff that Britney does. They look at her actions and her behavior and they think it's normal. Most people who are raised in a good home don't look at Britney and think anything that she's doing is normal. So I would argue that a lot of her modern current day fans who are a fan of all of this garbage that she does, a lot of them had bad upbringing, poor parenting, and that's why they can't even spot how ridiculous her actions are. But that's where we're at, folks. Sean Preston's 18th birthday. Happy birthday. I hope that this kid is able to have a good birthday. I hope that he does not get on social media because these people are absolutely insane. And you know what? I can take it. I could take crazed fan bases attacking me all day, but not everyone's built like me. Not everyone can deal with the ridicule and the slander and having psychotic weirdos with no lives attacking you constantly. A lot of people can't deal with that, especially, an 18-year-old kid. So I really feel bad for him. The true victims in all of this, it's Britney's kids. It's not Britney. You can continue to think that. You can continue to peddle your conspiracy theories about her conservatorship. The reality is, a lot of the stuff that you heard happened to Britney didn't happen to Britney. And the reality is that Britney is probably the main one to blame for all of her problems. That's just the truth. Let me know your thoughts about all of this, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.